Outcider Limited started 4 years ago. We were originally consultants in marketing, and one of our clients wanted to understand what they could do with social media at the time specifically, and also online news. So the brief was to go out, collect that information and report it to them in the way they could consume it. We started using other systems on the market. They were quite complex and difficult to use, so commercially it was never going to work for us in the long run. So we made the decision to build our own software and start developing that alongside the client's needs, and that's what we're currently doing today. Any small business, when you're starting up on a new venture, it's cash flow, bottom line. We knew what we wanted to do. We had a plan. We can do all of that. We come from a background of that. We had a client, which is always important because they funded a lot of that. But when we wanted to go into software development, it was about some initial cash flow to get that started, to do some initial research, etc. And we could have done it, and we would have done it anyway, but it just speeded up the process. So that initial funding was very useful in that respect. When we set up in Manchester, we just exposed ourselves to the things that were going on in Manchester. At the time, the Business Growth Hub was sort of preceding, or I guess, what was the Business Link. So they were developing their own strategies of what they wanted to do. About a year, 2 years in, I got involved with them through the mentoring program that they were advocating at the time and pushing. So I became a mentor, and that's where I met Rob Sethner and got involved with them and found out about other things that they were actually developing and doing. So it went from there, really. Growth's important to the business. I mean, not for the sake of growth. We've started at a point when you've got an idea, you've got a concept, you have to go to market to prove it before you actually want to invest any further in it. And I think the Growth Hub's been particularly useful there. It's given us that nudge and that extra, we can do this, as opposed to, it might take a bit longer, or you know what, I won't do that at this stage. So just that extra little bit of help to it, and also getting you involved with other networks of people who are in a similar position, just sometimes give you that nudge to make a start, which is half the battle. When we met with Rob, we just talked about the business as before, and rather than looking at a particular investment scheme or what was available, Rob did what he did, and he sort of audited the business and said, these are the things that we want and this is what we want to do. And he then matched the co-investment as a suitable fund for that particular stage of our business. Again, different from before, where you're going for a fund and try to fit the fund. In this way, the fund fitted the business and where we were. I think companies like Business Growth Hub are really important to small businesses and startups. I think it's important that more become that way. They more become practical, pragmatic, and some of that red tape is disguised. I know it exists, but it has to do. So the more you can get that way, the more they will get, and the more responses they'll get, and the more genuine companies they will get on board, and not just, as we would call them, fund junkies, which has been a thing of the past where people have been attracted to it because they can get through that, but they're not actually producing anything. We are first and foremost a business, and I'm here to build a successful business. And they can come along, if they can support that and help me get there faster, that's what it should be about. The future of the business, frankly, just looks nearer because the Business Growth Hub has helped us to get there faster. It's as I said before, it's a kickstart, but it's also, it allows that timescale to be reduced on the grounds that from a cash flow point of view, you can just do that little bit extra, that bit quicker. So we've managed to sort of deliver to some of the customers that we may have to wait for before we've developed the software faster, and we've managed to get more clients on board, which we wouldn't necessarily have got. And again, from a small business point of view, it's all about cash flow in the early days, and so it's been extremely helpful from that point of view.